I always bring the story back because this is the day I fully broke in my fitness level things and my mental state of things. So the marathon was probably one of the worst things I ever did in my life.
Nice.
Next to the 24-hour row. They're kind of on par, but I don't think I mentally broke as much with the row as I did the run. So the marathon, oh yeah, because the marathon, I'll never forget this moment. I hit mile 16, and I was already physically hurting, so I was like, whatever, but my brain broke, and I started crying as I was running. I just started crying, and I had no clue why, but psychologically something just snapped, and I was crying as I was running, and I pulled my phone out, and I dialed my wife's number, and I was like, I'm just going to call her. I was like, I'm over this. This is it. I'm quitting. I decided not to. I kept pushing it through, but that was probably.
So you broke more mentally in the marathon than the row?
Yes.
And the marathon was before the row?
Was it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I would almost bet to say the reason you didn't break in the row is because you broke in the marathon.
Had to have been.
And you got mentally stronger because of it.
100%.
Which is exactly what we're going to go into.
Yeah.
This kind of lines up with the grit challenge that we're doing. But one thing that we, as I'll say coaches or people that really live this fitness mentality and lifestyle, we talk about this in our circle a lot, but we don't talk about this enough to the members of CrossFit Angola.
Yeah.
And that is the mental toughness, mental fortitude, mental grit that we can get through exercise if we intentionally do it, that will lead to a lot of things outside of the gym, which we're going to go over.
Yeah. And it's I like to call it the hidden benefit almost.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that exercising and training can get you abs, can get you bigger muscles, can get you moving faster, stronger, all those things. But there's a psychological route to training that's not as discussed, but we kind of naturally feel it already as we start moving. We get a little bit more confident. But then there's an even greater barrier to that psychological stress that we imply when it comes to fitness and exercise that can translate over into just everyday life, right? When we can lift heavy weights or move certain weights and do certain things, we're able to translate that into life as well. I can sit down to a couch, I can stand up, I can hike with my family, I can do all those things. Well, same thing goes with the psychological and mental aspect. What I do here in the gym and how I challenge myself can translate and create a mental fortitude out in the real world.
Yeah.
Where, when those challenges come up with, whether it be finances, whether it be this, whether it be that, I now have a little bit more mental fortitude where it doesn't stress me out as much. It doesn't break me down as much. It doesn't have that fear of quitting kind of envelop me. Rather, I'm much more stronger because I did whatever I did in the gym. And that's kind of that hidden benefit that comes with training.
Yeah. And a lot of people think that you're either mentally tough or you're not. People are just born with this mentality, this dog, whatever, and other people aren't. And that's complete bullshit.
Yeah.
You can exercise and you can grow that thing, and you should. It is hardwired into our DNA to be able to fight through adversity and reap the benefits of it. It used to be natural. Way, way, way back in the day of the human race, we had to survive. We had to go out and kill our food. We had to build shelter. We were going through a lot of really uncomfortable things.
Yeah.
Only in the very recent time of the human race have we been as comfortable as we are now. Everybody has temperature-controlled houses that you wake up and then you get into your temperature-controlled vehicle, and then you go into your temperature-controlled office, and you come back to your temperature-controlled gym, and then you're back to your home. And our society is so ingrained in making things easier to be more comfortable.
Yeah.
And that is a huge freaking problem. I have no doubt in my mind that the parallel between how comfortable we are and the rise in the anxiety and depression and mental illness in our country are connected.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, intellectually, it's the same thing.
Yes.
Oh, I have Google now. I can just Google the answer instead of reading a book or finding out and learning and teaching myself.
Yes.
Oh, I have YouTube. I can find all the answers there rather than going and reading something and trying it yourself and see if you can figure it out. We're now at the age where you can literally just, hey, Siri, and then boom, you have the answer.
We're so comfortable and we're so avoidant of stress and discomfort that when that stuff comes up in our life, we break.
Yeah.
Stress, anxiety, worry, nervousness, all of those things, because we have no idea how to handle adversity and uncomfortable situations. And this is where exercise can help. We now have to intentionally put ourselves in uncomfortable situations to be able to teach ourselves and grow the resilience to get through it, survive, and then thrive. And that stuff doesn't just happen naturally. It used to, because we had to survive. Now it doesn't.
Yeah.
And that's where exercise is and can be a form of adversity, intentional adversity. You're going to grow your mental resilience and your mental grit, fortitude, whatever you want to call it. So like you said, when things happen in your home, your professional life, finances, whatever, that sucks. Instead of your brain automatically going to stress, worry, depression, it kind of flips to this, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's figure out the way through it. Let's keep moving forward one step at a time. We can push through adversity knowing that it's going to end and things are going to get better after it. And I was listening to a podcast with a guy named Chad Wright, ex-Navy SEAL, ultra endurance runner. And he broke he said he thinks about 3 things whenever he's trying to endure something, whether it's a 250-mile race, whether it was like shit he went through in the Navy SEALs, whatever. Number 1, I got to remember these now. Number 1 was present. You have to be present in the moment and only worry about or only think about what is my next step. Because we can get overwhelmed with, well, what if this happens? What if that happens? What about this? What about that? None of that matters. Think about the very next step, whether it's the marathon. Don't think about miles, 15. Oh my God, I got almost 10 more miles.
Yeah.
The next step, or crap happens in life, at work. Am I going to get fired? What are they going to think about? What can you do immediately to keep moving forward? That was number 1. Number 2, this one is hard for me, is patience.
Yes, I think it's hard for a lot of people in this world because we do have the instantaneous aspect to us. I can go to the store and go get my meal for dinner tonight rather than cooking it.
Yep.
I can go to McDonald's and get a fast food meal rather than cooking it. Like I have the instant
gratification for even like social media. Like we can instantly get dopamine release, which is another wormhole of horrible benefits to our brain. But like we have to be patient to endure hard times. Everything that's challenging, it's going to take longer than what you want, whether it's a weight loss journey, whether it's like shit going on at home or at the job. You have to be able to endure the process to get the benefit or to get through it. Yeah. And then his third one was intention. You have to intentionally make certain decisions through those times. You can't just hope it gets better. You can't just sit back and hope things change. Like you have to make intentional choices to go through the thing. And again, this could be like, if we want to take it back to the marathon, like I'm intentionally going to choose to keep moving forward versus quitting. Yeah. And if we can just get better at being present, being patient, and making intentional choices, that'll transcend. If we can look at that frame through any adversity, inside the gym or outside of the gym, you're going to be happier. You're going to thrive when shit sucks. You're going to have less depression and anxiety when, like, the world is going to kick you in the freaking nuts. Yeah. Or the other, whatever you have when you're a girl.
It's going to kick you down.
The world is going to kick you down. Everybody. It's not all sunshine. It's going to happen. And you have 2 choices. You can be a victim of it and let it just kick your ass and keep pushing you down and then get on medication and pills because you can't handle it. Or we can start to build our mental resilience so when things come, we know that we can get through it and we have a process to do that. Yeah. And it sucks to see, and I've been in it too. It happens and it's all of a sudden, this is happening to me, poor me, anger, frustration, blah, 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 instead of trying to figure out how we get through it. Yeah. And it's powerful.
It is. And it's not an easy thing. It's just like doing whatever you do in the gym is not easy. Yeah. That's what people don't understand is like, I can't just flip my switch and all of a sudden I'm just like this mentally grit person that I can just like shove off everything. It's not that way. It's just, I have to train that mindset. I have to train that ability just as I have to train my speed, just as I have to train my strength. Like I don't instantly go from a 100-pound back squat to a 400-pound back squat in 2 days. It doesn't happen. No. It takes time. takes patience,
Yeah.
takes all that intentional practice and building and work and things like that. Same thing goes for your mental fortitude. Because like looking at that, like you said, it is trained. It's developed.
Yeah.
Like I'll never forget this because it was one of those things I look back on like, man, I should have changed this. But in high school, my senior year, I was a wrestler and a football player, and I did track. I played rugby. My senior year, I decided not to wrestle because I let my mental fortitude break because of the coach there and the sport itself. He was a very hard coach, a very great coach. I respect him wholly. He was, awesome person, but he would challenge you beyond physical limits that just it snapped me. I was like, I'm not going through this again. And so because of that, I let my mental fortitude break, and I decided to swim instead of wrestling. I look back on that. Although I did not pursue that because I let the pressures break me, it showed me though that like that person then to this person now is like, I've done a 24-hour row, I've done a 26-mile run, I'm going to do a 100-mile run. Like those two people are different. And the person I am now is far more mentally tough and grittier than that person was. So I wasn't in that point when I was younger, but I am now.
And the cool thing is you recognize it.
Yeah.
A lot of people would still, 10, 15, 20, 30 years down the road say, no, I quit wrestling my senior year because the coach was too hard. He was too mean to me, and make excuses instead of realizing that, no, you broke under the circumstances.
Yeah.
And I'm the same way. I've been the same way. I wasn't born just like with this mental grit. I used to get angry, frustrated, mad very easily, and quit things.
Oh, yeah.
And it was always somebody else's fault. It wasn't my fault. It was because they did this and this happened. No, it's because I was not mentally strong enough to handle it. And people still do that through their entire life and make excuses.
Yeah.
You have to take full responsibility for everything that happens in your life, even if it's not your fault.
Yeah.
It's your responsibility to respond to any circumstance the way that you should and not make excuses. Like, you just have to be stronger than your excuses, and you're not always going to be, but you need to recognize, like, hey, that broke me.
Yeah.
What am I going to do to come back stronger?
Exactly.
Instead of making excuses that, well, this and that, and the sled was too heavy and I couldn't do this anymore. You broke.
Yeah.
You broke, which is fine as long as you recognize it and you can come back stronger. That's why we do the hard, dumb things that we do. I don't want to go run 100 miles.
No,
I didn't
awful.
want to do the Ironman and the 24-hour row and the marathon. I don't do those things because I enjoy it.
Right.
Some people do. I don't.
No.
I do those things because I know that it's going to make me mentally stronger.
It's going to push me outside my comfort zone.
It's not going to make, like, sure, I'm going to get a little better at running and my endurance will improve a little bit.
Right.
I don't care about that. Like, I want to be physically harder and mentally stronger than anything that comes my way in life, period.
Right.
It doesn't matter if it's like having a special needs child, watching my dad go through cancer, watching my mom battle depression. It doesn't matter. Anything that comes up in my life, I want to be physically harder and mentally stronger than it so I can persevere through it.
Absolutely.
And it's not going to happen by hoping I'm strong enough when those things come up. I'm going to push my boundaries to make myself grow. And one of the best ways that we can tap into that mental resilience is through really hard physical things. Like, the body and the mind are connected.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm sure there's other ways to do it to become mentally stronger. I don't think reading books is it.
No.
Listening to podcasts isn't it. You can't listen to this and just all of a sudden become mentally.
No.
You have to take what we're saying and go do it. The only way to, like, thrive in the darkness is to put yourself in the freaking darkness.
Yeah.
And it sucks, dude. Like, that 24-hour row freaking sucks.
Yeah,
it sucked.
It was awful.
But man, there's no other way to build that than getting into those places.
Yeah,
and then getting through them.
And what's unique about these things is, like, it is a trained thing, right? But it's one of those things that you can't think that failure is not a part of the process.
Yeah.
Because it is.
Absolutely.
It is. Like, you're going to try to physically challenge yourself to create that new mental fortitude, to develop that. That's awesome.
Yep.
Are you going to fail sometimes? 100%.
Absolutely.
Like, there's going to be times you are going to break and you're going to fold, and
Yep.
it's because it's hard.
Yep.
Like, that's okay. But what you have to do is, like you said, you have to look back. You have to realize, okay, I quit because of this.
Yeah.
You have to take accountability. Not because of you, not because of the coach, not because of this person, not because of – just like, I simply broke because I am not physically or mentally strong enough.
Yep.
Cool. Sweet. You've recognized it, and now you're going to continue to challenge yourself.
Yep.
Just because, like, there's been times where, like, I've never quit a workout besides one workout, and it was Alex, Seth, and I, and Soup, I think, was there, and I quit this workout. I've never quit a workout, ever. I love fitness. There's nothing about fitness. I've never quit one. I'll push myself to the ends of the earth. But there was this one workout I quit because I was just not mentally, because I was letting the pressure of them break me, and I was letting the workout break me, and I let myself break me. I said, this is stupid, and I walked away. And so it's just that one workout, but I recognized that as like I was just not mentally strong enough.
Yeah.
Like I knew, I was like, I could complete that workout. I can do it now, probably tenfold. But I could have done it then, but I just let my mental capacity say, oh, you're just not as good as these people, so you might as well walk away. And so I let that beat me when I shouldn't have. I should just complete the workout.
Yeah, and if you're not pushing yourself to the point of breaking, then you're not really getting the benefits. I mean, just like the supposed to be 12-hour run that a few of us did a couple weeks ago. We all quit. We all fucking quit. We made excuses. It's cold. Knees are hurting. I don't want this to affect my training the next week. We went far enough. Like, no, we all mentally broke. We could have kept walking. Yeah, it sucked. It was cold. My feet, knees, ankles, hips, everything hurt.
Just like when we rode. We
gave up. I was mad at myself, but I was also proud that I pushed myself to that point, and I know where it is, and I'm training for the 100-miler. I'm going to freaking crush it.
Right.
I'm going to crush it. But you got to push those limits mentally. You got to see where you're at, and you got to push through. And the other thing that goes into this is negativity and complaining.
Yeah.
We're going to go into it.
No, that's fine. It's a component of it because it's
a huge component of it. As soon as you start to verbalize things, it becomes reality.
Yeah.
It becomes reality. If you say, man, my joints are really hurting. Man, it's really cold. I'm not sure I can keep doing this. You're done.
Yeah.
You've planted that seed in your head and you are done. No matter how much it sucks, it hurts, you want to quit, whatever. Negativity or complaining mostly is just bringing the negative in any situation to light. There's always, like, every workout sucks.
Yeah.
Every workout sucks.
It's literally stress. It is literally a stress you're placing on your body. It's not meant to be like euphoric in the moment.
Yeah,
like,
it's euphoric afterwards because you got through something hard. And if you complain through it, make excuses, kind of play the victim of this is hard, this hurts, oh my God, you're not going to get the mental fortitude benefits because you're being a bitch through the workout.
Right.
You have to force yourself to say, I'm good. All systems go. I got this. Even if in your mind you don't think you do and everything's screaming at you and hurting when it's done, then talk about it. But in the moment, you got to force yourself to say things that you want to reinforce into your body. And that's huge.
And it is huge. And what I also want to preface with this is we're not saying go like slam your head through a brick wall and like tear your ACL and like break yourself. Because there's some people that'll listen to this and they'll instantly say like, okay, coach said I got to like push myself to the brink of death. It's not necessarily the case. Like there is certain circumstances where you do need to listen to your body. Right?
Yeah.
Like don't make that like don't make this the excuse like, okay, coach said let's blow it all out.
Yeah.
Like that's not the goal. But you know there's a difference between when you're sore, you're tired, you want to just sit down on the couch and not move. That's the moment we're talking about. Right?
Yeah, that's the intentional piece.
Yeah, that's where it's like, okay, yes, I'm sore. Yes, I'm tired. Yeah, you probably don't want to work out. No one does when they're sore and tired and want to sit on the couch. But that's the moment like, hey, I need to go to the gym.
Yeah.
And I need to push through, and I need not complain about those things. I'm not going to think about those things. I'm going to go push through and persevere. Because when you persevere on the other side, you grew. Yeah. Because you pushed through when you were sore. You pushed through when you were tired. You not only stuck to what you were supposed to be doing, but you developed that mental fortitude there. Simply because rather than sitting on the couch, being tired and complaining about being tired and sore, you went and worked out. Those are those moments. Now, if you got like a sharp pain shooting through your knee, obviously there's a different circumstance there to understand.
Yes.
That's where you always address it with your coach, but it's those moments where you don't, I think is the bet. Like that's when the complaining comes into mind.
Yeah, and sometimes even for like elite athletes or people in here that come to the gym 6 days a week, it can be more of a mental grit challenge to stay out of the gym for a week.
Yeah.
If you cannot stay out of the gym, I'm talking to myself,
right,
for a week without being anxious, depressed, nervous, whatever, there is a mental fortitude barrier there. So sometimes it doesn't have to be pushing yourself physically so hard. That's why to us, CrossFit workouts aren't uncomfortable enough to grow us mentally.
Right.
It'll grow us physically. They're still hard physically. Don't get me wrong. They still are hard, but we do it so often that doesn't grow us mentally anymore.
And that's our comfort zone.
That's our comfort zone.
It developed.
Yes.
It's our comfort zone.
You have to
CrossFit's
get
our comfort
out of your comfort zone, which is why we do like these ultra endurance things or these really long things, because that's way outside of our comfort zone.
Yeah.
For some people, it could be you're breaking your body down physically, but you're not improving yourself mentally. Cool. Take a week off. See what happens.
It's kind of weird because I took a week off.
It's hard, man.
I was in Aruba. I worked out twice. Worked out twice. I've never done that probably the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Worked out twice. I came back and there were some workouts I'm sore. I'm sore, but that's okay. I pushed some workouts. I'm like, dang. I was like, I felt good. I felt stronger. I felt more under control. I didn't feel as gassed or fatigued, and kind of I was psychologically, I came in Friday and I hit the workout and I was I was sore, but I didn't even think about it. And I just crushed it.
Get through it.
It was just one of those things. And but that was challenging for me. Last week, I was getting in my head. I was oh my gosh, I've only worked out twice. I curled some and I benched some. This is it. I'm falling apart. Next week's gonna be awful. And I came in and it was just I don't know. I enjoyed every moment. And it was there was something there psychologically. I was okay. And I just
that's the whole mental toughness thing is. It's mindset. It's working on, a lot of people call it your mind's mind. Your mind has a mind, and that's the voice that you hear.
Yeah.
Whether it's, I need to quit, I can't do this, this is too hard, or, oh my gosh, I have to work out every day. If I miss a day, I'm going to lose. Your mind's mind is always working against you. We have to figure out how to override your mind's mind and tell it what's up. And we have to take emotion out of the equation. We have to take all these things and take whatever your mind is trying to tell you, that little voice in your head, and figure out how to override it based on what your goals are, what the intention is, and where you're trying to go. And that again, naturally, for whatever reason, I think it's a survival mechanism. We try to stay safe. We try to stay comfortable. We try to stay what we know is within our comfort zone. For some people, that's coming to the gym. For some people, it's not coming to the gym, so they need to come to the gym. It's different for everybody.
Yeah.
But it's figuring out how to push your outside your comfort zone, how to push your limits mentally. It's just really easy to push your limits mentally through something very physically challenging. But there's other ways to do it. That's just the way that works best for me, especially in the endurance world.
Yeah.
Because it's easy mentally to get through a 10, 15, 20-minute CrossFit workout. Yeah, it's not going to last that long.
Even a 40-minute
Even
workout.
if it sucks, it's not going to last that long. But man, just the benefits that come from doing things that your mind's mind is telling you not to do.
And that's like you said, what you essentially said there's the whole CrossFit principle. This is customizable and scalable to you.
Yeah.
Right? We're not saying you need to go run a 100-mile race this year.
Right.
You don't need to go do this. You need to find what challenges you.
Yes.
Right? That might be taking sugar out of your diet. Some of you guys are sugar fiends. I'm a sugar fiend. So, we get it. But, those are those uncomfortable things that you have to challenge yourself with.
Yes.
Right? And that might be just doing 50 burpees a day.
Yeah.
That could be super hard for you. Awesome.
Yep.
Make that your challenge for month of February. I have 30 days or 31 days. Whatever it is. I'm going to do 50 burpees a day. That's your mental challenge right there. Because if burpees are your worst enemy, you've set up a challenge that you might fail.
Yeah.
But that's okay. That's kind of the point of growing your mental fortitude is doing things that you might fail. Right? And that's okay because that's where you're going to grow. It's the outside the comfort zone. If your comfort zone is always doing burpees to a box, but I can do them to a floor, then doing burpees to the floor is going to be outside your comfort zone.
Yep.
If you can do them without pain, it's okay, cool.
Yeah.
You'll start challenging yourself a little bit then. Even if you got to go slower, even if you got to cut down reps, that's outside your comfort zone. You're going to grow there, right?
Yep.
And those are those things that are going to adapt you not only in the gym, but outside. And that's the big thing to understand is now that you've changed up how you approach those burpees, you made them more challenging, uncomfortable. You didn't do the workout as fast as everyone else, or it was really, really hard. And you're like, gosh, dang.
Yeah.
Well, now outside, when you have something that's really hard, like, oh crap, it's like you're like, well, I did those burpees.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, psychologically, that thing's not going to seem as grand or
When
crazy.
things
or
come
hard.
up that suck, here's what I do. I get through it.
Yeah.
That's how I've trained myself. When shitty things come up, I get through it.
Yeah.
I don't cower down. I don't think about, I don't give into the excuses. It's just, what's the next step? Be present, be patient, be intentional.
Exactly.
And it's big, and it's extremely lacking in our country.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to develop. That's why.
Yeah.
Because it's not easy.
No, because now we have to intentionally do it because we're all super, super comfortable. So
That's all we got.
That's all we got.
Okay. Well, other than that, if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below or reach out to the coaches. Or if you guys want to continue this conversation, we're always gladly to talk about these things. Like I said, we tend to challenge ourselves in a multitude of ways, and we got a fun one coming up. So you'll hear, I'm sure, more about that when that happens. But other than that, don't forget to subscribe for more to come in the future and leave a like and follow for more to come.
And if you do want to, sorry, I'm going back. There's a book that we both read called Comfort Crisis. If you want to kind of read more into this stuff, read the book Comfort Crisis.
Yeah.
Talks a lot about the crisis of being comfortable. So that's all.
Yeah, that'll give you more insight. All right. Other than that, peace.
Peace.